Welcome everyone. Today we have the 2021 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you get on the outside, the inside, and we're going to take this Mercedes for a test drive and check everything out. And be sure to leave your comments down below what you think of this GLB 250 and subscribe for more reviews. All right, let's take a look at these exterior details. So starting out right up front, Mercedes has what they call their twin power dome hood. So you've kind of got those double lines right there. Gives it a little bit of a beefier look. And right up front, you get LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and that blinker is what is taking up the LED daytime running light right now. I have a night video showing off these headlights and just how well they do, how they look, and if you want to check that out, I'll put the link in the description below. Now we have the AMG line, which is optional, so it gives us a different fascia. We have a little bit of a different grille. You'll get a few different grille designs, but ours is the AMG diamond block grille. Part of that is the splitter down below as well, which kind of adds to the aggressiveness. You can see the parking sensors up front, and then you have some fake kind of big black air vents right there, but there is an actual air curtain that comes to the wheel. And this color is called night black paint, and that's just a really good way to describe it because it is a very dark paint. Nothing really too special about it, but it looks very good on this classy Mercedes. So normally you'll get 18-inch tires standard on here, but with our AMG line, we get these 20-inch AMG wheels. Multi-spokes, what do you think of those? With this design, I feel like the 20-inch wheels fill it out pretty well. These mirrors do have a turn signal in them as well, and we have the premium package, so we get automatic dimming on the driver's side. They're also power folding as well, and they're heated. There's even some detail on those door handles. You can see you kind of have the dark chrome black on the outside plus the chrome up top. You've got the chrome piece down below, coupled with some body cladding at the bottom and around the wheels. And then of course you can use it like an SUV. You've got the roof rails that come standard on here. And as we take a look at the back, you're going to get LED taillights. Again, if you want to see these at night, be sure to check out my video. They look nice. You even get a rear fog light back here just for extra little safety. And this GLB 250 is 182.4 inches long, so it is on the shorter side. It's much smaller than it looks, and it comes optional with the adaptive damping suspension for $1,000. And we'll talk about how it drives in just a little bit. And one more aspect with the AMG line is that we get these tailpipes down here, so that looks nice. You got the chrome, the diffuser, and an overall upright rear end. Now as you look at the cargo area of this GLB, you can get a power liftgate standard no matter what, but you can also option up and get this hands-free liftgate as an option. Now taking a quick look at the cargo area, so this does swallow things up pretty well. It's not super high to get back here. You can see just my backpack. You could definitely stack up some carry-on suitcases and big suitcases. You have a few different areas, like you got a little cargo net, you've got a little strap there, you've got that same setup over there. Plus, you can use this for a cargo net hook or grocery bag hook, and then you've got the cargo cover that you can pull out and remove. Now there is an option for a third row, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but go ahead and look under here. You don't get a spare tire. You get an inflator kit and some empty space, but there is no spare tire on here. Even though this is a luxury vehicle, you have to go to the second row in order to fold the seats down. You can pull that, and as you can see, you got a 40-20-40 split, so you could just fold that down and have like a ski pass-through area, which is nice to have. The wonky thing though is that these headrests don't actually go any lower than that. That's just weird. You can pull them out, but they don't like fold down or anything, and with where the person was sitting right there, you can't fold it down, so that's a little bit annoying. But once you get those down, you've got a fairly flat load floor, and you get over 60 cubic feet now, so not too bad for this size of a vehicle in terms of its length. Then when you're all done, you can either push the button up here, or you can swipe your foot and it will lower down again. Now Mercedes will give you the smart key system standard. It is a really nice slick looking key fob. You can remote start on your phone, but there's no remote start on the key fob. And Mercedes uses sensors, so there's a sensor behind to unlock. You can also do that on the back doors. And you can see the mirrors will fold. Just touch the outside of it, lock it up, mirrors will fold. If you have mobility issues, just know that the height of this Mercedes is just like with other crossovers, not as tall as big SUVs, not as low as a car, so it's really easy to get in. And these front seats look really nice. We have the AMG line sports seats, but they'll come standard with synthetic leather and 12-way power adjustment, including 4-way lumbar support. You can also have the easy entrance and exit system so the seat can move. It's a little bit different than some where it's not a huge adjustment, but it can move to make it easier to get in or out. In addition to the 12-way power adjustment, you also have manual thigh adjustment where you can extend the thigh cushion. And these seats are comfortable. I have had zero complaints in these seats. I like the bolstering, I like the 4-way adjustable lumbar support. You can even adjust how aggressive this headrest is. So that's not a problem at all. And room is good back here too. I've got the seat midway up and there's a lot of room above my head. If you really want to get bougie, you can option up for leather seats that will be ventilated, have multi-contouring, which is basically like a simulated massage as well. The surprising thing to me is that none of that is standard, not even heated seats. We have heated seats optional. The steering wheel is not power adjustable, it's just manual adjustable, so this does not go with your memory settings because we get 3-position memory settings, but it's got a good range of motion to it. And it can also be heated optional, but we don't have that option. And in addition to that, Mercedes has this thing called seat kinetics. Now, it's not the massaging function that you can get, it's actually something that you use. You can touch on the screen and it will move your seat, little micro adjustments so that you don't get tired. They're basically anti-fatigue seats. You can turn it off or on. For example, on your screen, seat kinetics, and you can press play and my seat will move a little bit, just the bottom, the back, just a little bit while you're driving, and you can turn it off. You can make it be just the back part or the seat bottom or both, and that's basically designed to help you not fall asleep. Now let's take a look at the second row. So these seats still look very nice, just like they do up front. I like the contrast that you get in the seats, the light color, the dark color. Let's go ahead and hop in. So in terms of material, this whole panel is nice, just like it is up front, and you still got a pretty decent sized bottle holder, and there's ambient lighting back here in the doors and by your feet. And sitting behind myself at 5'9", I've got good space. I mean, this is not a super long vehicle, but there's still good second room space. The only problem, when I have a rear facing car seat, I cannot put it behind myself comfortably. So I have to put it in the middle or behind that one and scoot that chair up. These seats can scoot forward and backwards quite a ways, and I can scoot up quite a bit and still have some space. So if you have the third row, which is available, we do not have it, but if you have the third row, you can at least give them a little bit more space. You can see that we get air conditioning vents back here. You've got a little storage pocket. Then you've got 2 USB-C charging ports and a 115 volt plug-in. It's just a 2-prong, but at least you get that. And then of course you've got this fold down armrest in the middle. It's not really softly padded, but it's got a nice material. And you've got a couple of cup holders that can actually fit some really large drinks. And I can sit up tall. Headroom is good, and these seats can recline a little bit to help with that. As we take a look at the rest of the interior, you have a modern design and layout with a mix of materials, and overall, I think it looks very classy for Mercedes. So first things first, we've got push button start. There you go, I like this digital display. Now to give you a run through of the interior, first of all, right up top, you've got this stitching that runs across this entire top portion is soft touch. This is nice and soft. I like the contrast. Trim pieces right here. Your heated seat button is right there. We don't have ventilated seats here, but you've got 3-position memory settings and all your seat controls except lumbar support right there. The materials in here are nice. You've got a nice door handle, good grab handle, all one-touch windows, power folding mirrors that you can operate in here, open up your rear lift gate, and a really good sized bottle holder and storage bin. All of our light controls are easily accessible right next to the steering wheel. And there are some options in here that are important to note. First of all, this steering wheel is part of our AMG line. So this is a special steering wheel. You've got the flat bottom. I like the way everything looks and feels. You've got bulky grips on the sides, kind of a perforated look to it. And it's just a really comfortable steering wheel to hold on to. Plus, you've got aluminum paddle shifters on the backside. Interestingly, we have a column, not a column, but a stock shifter. So that's our shifter right there. All you gotta do is move that. You know, it doesn't take up any extra space right here. There's no push button, there's no actual handle. It's just that stock right there. And right in front of us, typically you'll get a 7-inch display, but we have the optional premium package, which gives us this 10.25-inch digital display. I'm a fan of this display. There's a lot that you can customize. So first of all, right in the middle, all using your steering wheel. You can cycle through several menus there. You can even go to this big full display, which with different information on the left and the right. Press the home button on your steering wheel and you can go through any one of these features. So you can have whatever you want on this main screen, but there's still a lot more that you can do with this display. So if you go over to the, say, the right gauge, see those little knobs or buttons on the top right, you can cycle through a lot of different information over here too. So you can have your map over there, G monitor, your driver assistant stuff, and then same thing goes for this far left side. You can cycle through stuff on there too. So I mean, it's like so many different options that you can have on here, which is really, really cool. Even though we have that, we do not have the optional head-up display. There is a head-up display available and optional, but we don't have it on this model. And then as we come across, this is like a joined screen. So you can see they share that exact same thing. And either you get two 7-inch displays or you get the two 10.25-inch displays. So like I said, we have the premium package, so that gives us the 10.25-inch display here. I like this screen. It is touchscreen, but it can also be controlled with a command knob or a touch pad that I'll show you in a little bit. But there's a lot that you can do on here. I mean, there's so much that you can see and do and customize. You've got all the different settings that you can adjust up there. I mean, it's really pretty incredible, everything that you get. It's a very clear and responsive screen. So much information that you can see. It can be distracting and it takes time to get used to it, but I mean, there's a lot that you can do. Like I said, it does take a little bit of getting used to, but I can move everything that you see on here with the touchpad below too. The map looks nice. The navigation is full screen here. And of course, this has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and there is a little shortcut right up there. My only complaint is that Apple CarPlay, I'm not sure about Android Auto, but Apple CarPlay does not take up the whole screen. So obviously there's a lot left over. So if you use Apple CarPlay a lot, maybe you don't want to upgrade to this big screen. Now let's put it in reverse. Backup camera right here actually kind of flips out from the back. It's covered up. You have dynamic lines, and I actually really like where you can see where the tires go, not just like lane lines, but you can also get a wide angle view. This does have the optional surround view camera, but we don't have that on here. That's an extra $1,000 option with the parking package. Another thing with this infotainment is this thing called Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
I'm warm.
I'm reducing the temperature to 73 degrees.
Cool. So you can tell Mercedes a lot of different things. And it's not just climate control related. You can tell her to do a lot of different things, and she's supposed to be more advanced and learn different phrases along the way, more so than what most cars are dealing with their voice recognition. Now you can get the Burmester 12 speaker 590 watt system on there, but we do not have that. The base system that we have still sounds good, in my opinion, or at least not bad. Then we got our AC vents right in front of us. Dual zone climate control for you and your passenger. That's all easy to use. I like how we actually get real physical buttons. There's a storage bin right down there. Wireless charging is optional, but we don't have it. Then you get a USB-C. There's no regular USB charging ports in here, just the USB-C. And then you got a 12-volt power outlet. These cup holders have little pop-out things for smaller drinks, or you can knock them down for larger drinks. That works well. And then here's our touchpad, which actually gives us some shortcuts on the left and the right, and it's pretty easy to use. It definitely takes some getting used to though, and there's a little volume scrolling knob over there. So for drive modes, just move this dynamic button. So I can go up to sport. You can have an individual customizable mode, comfort mode, and eco mode. This thing that kind of looks like a shifter is not. It's just an armrest or a handrest, so you can operate that touchpad. And then this is semi-padded. It's got some cushion on it. I wish it was a little bit higher. It is kind of low, but you could probably rest your hand on there and still touch the steering wheel. And then both of these open up at the same time. There's another USB-C charging port in there. It's actually pretty good size and goes back a little ways like that. Material-wise, Mercedes has this kind of brushed aluminum look, a carbon fiber looking piece there, it's just like it is on the door. Then you get a locking glove box that also has a light inside of it. We have an automatic dimming rearview mirror that's actually a frameless rearview mirror as part of our premium package. And then these lights are actually kind of cool. So you can have reading lights that actually come out from underneath of the mirror instead of it coming from up here, or you can turn all of those on and it's really bright in here. Be sure to check out my night review if you want to check that out. But one complaint is that these visors do not extend. They don't have a moving piece. They're just like that. So you're screwed if the sun is right there. Then up above, you can see we do not have a moonroof in here. You can get a panoramic roof optional, but we do not have one in here. And at night, we have the optional ambient lighting colors that give you 64 different colors, and it looks great. There are ambient lights all over the place in here, and you can change the color or you can completely turn it off or dim it if you want. Now under the hood, Mercedes gives you a couple different options. If you want performance, then you want to go for the AMG with over 300 horsepower. Otherwise, the GLB 250s are going to get one option, a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. That engine's going to give you 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. Those numbers obviously aren't impressive, but this does drive better than you'll expect, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. I do have one complaint about the transmission, and I'll talk about that in the test drive, but miles per gallon for this Mercedes front-wheel drive is 23 city, 31 highway, and the all-wheel drive that we have right here is 30 on the highway. Now, unlike some Mercedes, it is not a rear-wheel drive based vehicle. It is front-wheel drive based and then all-wheel drive optional. And if you're curious, 0 to 60 is 6.9 seconds. Not great, not bad. Let's take it for a drive. All right, y'all, let's get going on this test drive with this GLB 250. So in this drive, I want to talk about ride comfort. I want to talk about just the daily driving aspect of this and have some fun with it as well. And my first impression is that this is my first time ever driving a Mercedes. So be sure to leave a thumbs up. Let Mercedes know that you want to see more Mercedes videos. And one thing about it is, in this vehicle, I've had a tendency to want to sit a little bit higher up, and you do kind of have this commanding SUV-esque type of view out of here. So for the most part, I'll talk more about the transmission later. When you're accelerating and getting on it, it's been responsive and it brakes well. It handles just fine. It's not a sporty vehicle, but I think a lot of you will feel very confident behind the wheel in this Mercedes. This first road that we're getting on definitely has some broken pavement. It throws us around a little bit. And one thing I've noticed ride comfort wise is that, probably partly due with these 20-inch wheels, but you feel a lot of bumps in this Mercedes. It is definitely not the smoothest and softest riding vehicle. I wonder if it's better with the smaller standard 18-inch wheels, but we also have the adaptive suspension on here, so you'd think that would help a little bit, but I'm sure that will help even more when we start taking some corners. This does have the auto stop start. It just shut off, and it's pretty quick bringing it back, so not too bad with that. We're just in regular comfort mode. I'll put it in sport mode in a little bit. We do have all-wheel drive and pedal down. And it actually throws you back more than you would expect considering these numbers. I won't say it's fun. It's not necessarily fun, but you can definitely try to have some fun in here. Throttle response is pretty good. It definitely took a minute. That was not floored, but it definitely took a minute for it to downshift. It's not always like that. It's usually a little bit more responsive than that. But we'll get on another road here in a bit and to go around some corners. I'll put it in sport mode. And I'll even talk about the road noise in just a little bit too. Now I'm going to put it in sport mode just with the flick of a little dial. And then like I told you the 0 to 60 time a little bit ago, it makes some extra noise, if you couldn't tell. It definitely makes some noise getting on the brakes here. The RPM's kicked up a little bit, so you've got some more aggressive shifting. And the adaptive suspension should be beneficial in corners and keeping us a little bit more level. And it does feel a little bit top-heavy, a little topsy-turvy, but that's part of it with, vehicles this shape and this ride height. And with the driver assist features, we don't have the radar-based cruise control, which is really surprising. We don't have the lane keeping system either. Those are optional features above the premium package and the multimedia package, like the double display here, you have to pay extra to get all that. Now, if you're a canyon carver, you drive in the mountains, this might not be the one for you, but it definitely doesn't do bad. I think a lot of you will be pleased with how well it actually does handle and drive at this price point. A little bit of turbo sound, and you get some thing with the turbo is when you're driving a turbo like this is you don't have to put the pedal down very much in order to get a good kick in the back. It comes out really quick and really early. As far as daily driving this, I like the displays. The displays are very nice. You can start with smaller displays. The controls, you still have physical controls. You can still actually touch the screen or use your touchpad down there. Steering wheel is very comfortable to hold on to. Visibility out of here seems to be pretty good. I mean, you can have a decent ride height. It's kind of a small window, it seems like, but comfort-wise, ergonomics, everything seems to be good in this Mercedes, as you'd expect. Now, one other little complaint is with the road noise. Get up to speed. And this is a rougher textured road, and you can probably hear that road noise coming in. Now, for mainstream SUVs, this isn't bad, but for a Mercedes, I would say this is bad. I mean, it's not terrible. You can have a conversation in here, but there's no laminated glass over here, which is kind of surprising. That could help suppress wind noise because at interstate speeds, there is some wind noise that comes through over there. For a Mercedes, even though it's a lower end Mercedes, I think that we need some better sound suppression in here. So a quick conclusion on the driving. Ride comfort, not bad, but could be a little bit better. I wish it was.
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
So if you say her name, she will automatically talk to you. But ride comfort could be better. It's not bad. It probably is better with the smaller wheels. Ergonomics and daily driving in here is great. Visibility is not bad. It's more fun to drive than you think. In fact, let's use these paddles. So I'm gonna put it in sport, see if that stiffens up our suspension a little bit, and then use these paddles once we get around the corner here. Downshifts are pretty responsive, and we have a dual clutch, so using the manual mode will be a little bit interesting. First gear, and it's not following my shifts. It shifted before I shifted, and then it didn't let me shift when I used the paddles. Downshift. The upshifts are definitely delayed. Holy smokes. So, I mean, I'm sure the AMG is better with that, but it definitely, it overrid what I was trying to do. So, if you really want to have fun with it, probably don't use those. If you want to just control your gears in certain situations, you can definitely do that if you need to. So to wrap things up on this 2021 Mercedes GLB 250, you get the boxy design, you get the Mercedes aesthetic inside and out, and you get the option of a 7-passenger vehicle at this price point. There are a ton of available options on here, but not a lot of standard features. So you can dress this up the way you want, but it does get expensive and maybe into larger SUV territory if you want to look at that. But what did you think of this Mercedes? What did you think of the video? Give me a thumbs up if you liked it to support the channel, and leave your comments on this Mercedes down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.